ZMT Sports is back, and it is March Madness edition. We are finally here. It's been a full year since COVID ruined fucking everything.
Dead ass.
And we are full circle. COVID may be still here, but March Madness is here. No cancellation of March Madness this year, and it is exciting.
And I have some rooting interest in it, of course.
You have two teams that you love so dear.
Yep.
This year.
Yep.
And they are.
It's true. I got Syracuse. I'm going to caveat this so people don't think I'm crazy. I have Syracuse. That's the team I grew up rooting for, the school I wanted to go to, but, it's expensive as shit.
Yes, it is.
So couldn't go there. But that is my team. That's like my, you grow up choosing a college and these things, and it's been Syracuse. And then Rutgers. And I'm extreme. I've seen Syracuse go on so many runs. I've seen Syracuse do so much in the tournament that I'll put it this way for people listening. If Syracuse and Rutgers played each other, I'm rooting for Rutgers. It's like, that's a win-win for me, but I'm possible? Yeah, it is. They're in the same bracket. They're in the same side. But so what's crazy to me is that the fact that they're both in the same, side of the bracket, and that they are both in it, which is electric.
Yeah.
So I'm a Rutgers alumni now, which is weird to say. So of course that's where my heart's at, and
I am a Rutgers fan, and
always have been.
I've always have been football wise, and I mean basketball. They've never been good enough to root for them. Obviously, they haven't been to tourneys since the 90s.
It sucks though, because last year they would have been like a 5 seed. That's how
they would have been. They were a lot better last year than they were this year.
It's basically the same team. It's just that they were playing better last year as a group.
Yeah.
So they could get there if
they were on a hot streak. They were feeling themselves last year, and I think going into the tournament this year, they picked it up. Like after that awful loss in Nebraska a few weeks back,
they played very well. Yeah,
they started to play well. Yeah, and the Big Ten. Yeah,
and not having fans at the rack, I think, really threw them off because they were 18-1. I think last year at the rack. I mean, they were unbeatable there. No matter who they played, they could have played the number 1 team in the nation, and they would have been
at least competed.
That's why I think them being at the tournament, I think that extra juice is going to give them a little extra oomph, and I think that's why their first round matchup, which we'll get to, is a winnable one.
I think the best case scenario for them, which we will get to, like you said, but this isn't a Rutgers basketball March Madness edition. This is
it could be, but
I know it could. I mean, listen, it's exciting. I am so happy Rutgers in it. You're happy Rutgers in it, and Syracuse obviously, but we have round of 64, and then we are going to mark it all the way down. We're going to give our brackets, and we'll go from there. And how do you want to do this? You just want to name the matchups and just go?
We'll each get two of the brackets. So you obviously have the West, the East, the South, and the Midwest. So I'll do the West, and I'll give you the matchups, and then you tell me who wins, and then I'll do obviously mine, and then you could do the East, and then I'll do the South, and then you do the Midwest.
All right.
And by that, I just mean you'll narrate it, basically. You'll be like, you'll go matchup, and then we'll both make the picks, obviously.
I'm in. All right. So
come on. What type of podcast would this be without us doing some type of friendly thing?
What do you mean?
A little rivalry with each other per usual.
Why you think you're going to go? I mean, listen, I don't care for this as much because it's impossible to get right.
Let's not tell our listeners that. Let's not tell our listeners that.
What? Tell listeners what?
You care. Because the minute I say that my bracket's gonna be better than yours, the first round loss, you'll actually on the podcast, but the first time I have a loss in the bracket, you'll be in the group chats hounding me down.
Fuck yeah, well.
Oh, that's funny. But no, we'll just whatever. But we'll definitely share these brackets, and then we'll let the people see who's.
And we might even have a bracket challenge of our own. Hopefully, if we can get it out.
We might. I think we should do that. Yeah, but
yeah, I already set up something on
ESPN.
On the ESPN thing. I made a group, like a group already. So if we can get the info out tomorrow, hopefully we can get it going.
But yeah, I say the bracket with the least percentage has to do something, and we'll figure it out.
What, between me and you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like a bet, like a better's bet.
Yeah.
What are you gonna make me do? Wear a fucking Capo Shido jersey or
No,
something?
we'll keep it. Yeah, we'll do something. We'll do something.
I bet I'm in.
But yeah,
Let's do it.
we'll do that. All right. So let's kick it off in the West.
The West.
Being called the Gonzaga Invitational, basically. That's what John Roth is calling it, because his side of the bracket is rattled with shit teams and injuries and COVID. So the first matchup is Gonzaga, the number 1 ranked team in the nation, number 1 seed, against either Norfolk State or Norfolk, I don't remember, and
something like that,
or Appalachian State. I think it's pretty safe to say we both agree.
I'm going for Appalachian State. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Gonzaga. No doubt. Undefeated team going into the tournament. You got to pick Gonzaga there.
Definitely. This next 8-9, the first 8-9 matchup in the West is one of my favorite matchups of the first weekend.
Exciting.
And that's because I've won a lot of money on both of these teams this year. And that's Oklahoma, fast-paced scoring versus defensive-minded Missouri.
Yes.
What do you have here?
I think the way that their offense is, and like you said, is fast-paced, I'm going with Oklahoma to win this game.
I agree. I'm also going with the Sooners.
I think they pull away with their fast offense, probably like last second in this game, like a buzzer beater. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, there's been so many times this year where I've bet Missouri to cover their number up like +4 or 5. They're up 6, and because they just stopped scoring, they lose by like 9 or 10. It's actually frustrating.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma's offense is just explosive enough to get past this Missouri defense for sure.
Yes. Next matchup, the 5-12 matchup in the West, is the Creighton Blue Jays out of the Big East against the University of California at Santa Barbara.
Good for them.
Who are you going?
Good for them. I think I'm just gonna go off of base guess here. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Santa Barbara.
You're going chalk. You're going chalk.
I'm going chalk. I'm going with the higher seed. I'm going with the team I know I've seen play before. I'm going with Creighton.
Okay. I am going with the University of California. It's Santa Barbara, baby. And,
I like it.
And I've been on this, and I've been all over this for about a week now, that I was going to hammer the Santa Barbara, whoever they played. I didn't think they'd be a 12 seed. I think they're one of the, lowest, most disrespected seeded. They're a good basketball team. It's scaring me that the public's at 84%. That bet is at 84%. That
for Santa Barbara?
For Santa Barbara. And as we know, you fade the public, right? So now that pick for me is getting a little scarier. I might switch it on a couple of my money brackets just to cover both ends. But I really do. I'm confident that Santa Barbara is going to
I'm not too familiar with them
fight
as a team. I mean, obviously, I'm going to go with what your word is. If you think they're disrespected as a seed. But I have seen Creighton play. I think their offense is okay.
Creighton's hit or miss. I don't like the Big East this year. I don't think it was as strong as normal. As you saw, Georgetown made a run and won the conference. So
beating them in the tournament too at one point, right?
It's just weird, man.
It's a weak division.
Yeah, so it's not the typical Big East. So that's why I'm putting more stock in Santa Barbara. But anyway, yeah. So you have Creighton and I have Santa Barbara.
First different one. Okay.
Yes. The 4-13 matchup, we got the Virginia Cavaliers against the Ohio Bobcats.
Virginia.
I agree. Virginia, although they're dealing with some COVID stuff now, I think they'll be fine by the time tip off, and I think they'll be good to go.
I agree.
They were a dark horse to win the ACC tournament, but then they had a COVID thing, so that kind of screwed them up.
Yes.
So we both have Virginia. That's cool. So your round of 32 matchup is Creighton, Virginia. Mine's Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Virginia. Okay, cool. 6-11 in the West is my sleeper team that I've already put a healthy wager on to win this thing outright, to win this tournament. Just
USC.
stupid. It's USC.
I don't think it's stupid at all.
Versus either Wichita State or Drake.
Here's the thing. I think I'm going USC here. I'm with you.
They had
USC.
probably the second or third best basketball player in the country on their team. They had the best. They had the best, probably the second best backcourt. I think Texas has the best. I think they had the second best.
Yeah, I think they had some serious talent. USC. In a matchup like this, I mean, obviously you're not gonna know who you're gonna get yet with Wichita State or Drake. I think Wichita State will pull out that one maybe. And Wichita State has been a program that's been you know, giving
Tournament
themselves
tested,
very,
tournament tested.
yeah, very tournament tested. They've been tournament made. But at the same time, I think USC is just a good basketball team. And you banked on them a lot in your bets this year, and obviously I can't do it, but they have delivered, and I think
Yes,
they're
they
a good
have.
team. So I'm going with USC as well.
SC has finally got their basketball back.
Yes.
So we both have SC. Cool. The next matchup, the 3-14 matchup, we have the Kansas Jayhawks against Eastern Washington. I'm going Kansas.
I'm going Kansas as well.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that game. I think Eastern Washington's that's going to be a blowout. Watch, I'm going to say it's a blowout on here, and then watch, it's going to be like a 2-point game.
Yeah,
or Kansas will lose. This is an interesting matchup because this is another team I think that's seeded way too low, and now it's the 7-10 matchup. Oregon against VCU.
Yes.
VCU is a typical it's VCU. They've had upsets before. Let's pick them, but I'm going Oregon.
I'm actually going VCU because of that situation.
Okay. So
I agree. I agree with you. I don't think they're a good enough basketball team to be a 10. I really don't. But at the same time,
I mean, VCU's good. I just don't think Oregon's a 7 seed. Like, this team struggled down the stretch, and that's why they got to.
And that's why I like VCU. Like, I think both these teams are way too low seeds for what they have been playing. Like, in my opinion.
Okay.
And that's why I think it can go either way. And that's why, like, how bad Oregon's been down the stretch. I'm going to pick VCU here. I'm going to go the other way.
Okay. And to round off the well, actually, we'll go through the whole West. We'll go right through. We won't go like round of 64. We'll go all West, and then we'll have our we'll get to the Final Four in the West. The Elite Eight in the West, and then we'll go to the East. We'll just do that.
Fine with that.
Yeah. All right. So the last matchup in the round of 64 in the West is Iowa versus Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's first tournament bet.
I mean, how awesome would it be if Grand Canyon won?
It would be, but it's not happening. I'm going with Luka Garza.
Iowa's they're not going to stop that kid.
Yeah, Garza's, Big Ten Conference is the best conference. In
Garza is a problem, and I don't think Grand Canyon, as big as it is, will stop Garza.
I know. I agree. It's not happening.
All right.
Round of 32.
Yes, sir.
In the West. First matchup for me. I know we have the same matchup here. It's Gonzaga versus Oklahoma. I have Gonzaga in my Sweet 16. How about you?
I have Gonzaga going as well to the Sweet 16.
All right, cool. Next matchup, this is where it gets different because you are going to have Creighton versus Virginia.
Yes.
Who do you have in your Sweet 16 coming out of that matchup?
I have Creighton.
Wow.
Going against Gonzaga. Yes.
All right, cool. So this is going to be a big I have Virginia beating Santa Barbara. This is going to be big for our little friendly, whatever we're going to make each other do, because the PowerPoints in the way that ESPN runs their brackets is going to be kind of crazy here because the seed I have getting knocked out in round 1, you have in your Sweet 16. So interesting. I mean, Creighton can do it. I'm just putting stock that they got the worst 5-12 matchup out of all of them. So that's what it
makes sense.
Next matchup in the round of 32, we have the 6-seeded Trojans against 3-seeded Kansas. Who do you have?
I'm going for upsets, baby. I got
USC too.
I got USC going, and I think we both will agree on the next one, hopefully.
Well, no, you have different matchups. You have VCU versus Iowa, who I think if VCU got there, I would take Iowa, correct?
Yeah.
Because that's what you're going to do.
Who do you have again?
I have Oregon against Iowa.
You think Oregon could beat Iowa?
And I'm taking Oregon.
Okay. I'm taking Iowa.
I have
we are all over the place.
This is getting interesting now. This is perfect because now our brackets are going to be different, which is what we wanted, right?
Right.
Sweet 16 in the West. So we're in the West semifinals of the NCAA bracket. My first matchup is Gonzaga versus Virginia.
Yes, and mine's Gonzaga versus Creighton.
Who do you have?
I have Gonzaga.
Nice. I also have Gonzaga beating Virginia.
So we have one team going to the Elite Eight. Yes.
No matter how we got there, Gonzaga's in the Elite Eight and in the West Finals. Okay. Yes.
But you have USC versus.
I have USC versus Oregon in the Sweet 16.
You want to hear how high I am on this team?
I'm taking SC to beat Oregon.
I'm taking USC to beat Iowa. So we have the same Elite Eight. So despite our differences,
we both got to Oregon, USC.
Yes,
I mean Gonzaga, USC.
And I think that's going to be an awesome matchup.
That's
I think
awesome.
that would be an awesome matchup.
All right. So the West Finals, Gonzaga versus USC. Is this where you go crazy or is this where you come back to earth?
This is where I come back to earth, and I think undefeated team, and I think it'll be a little too much for them. I'm taking Gonzaga to go to the Final
I
Four.
have Gonzaga as well. I think the Cinderella of USC runs out.
Yeah,
Elite Eight,
I think
good run.
USC could have a. I'm gonna bring up your team because you love this team so much, but I think USC can go on a familiar run that Syracuse did a few years back
when Syracuse was an 10 seed. I think,
10 seed, and they made the Final Four.
Final Four. They lost to North Carolina. Yeah, I remember that.
But
vividly.
I mean, obviously, Elite Eight is not the Final Four, but it's close to it, and I think USC can have for especially the path they have to go through. I think it's a very good Cinderella story. I think it have USC.
Syracuse beat Virginia in that Elite Eight.
Yeah,
that year.
All right, so we have the East or the
now
West
we're moving on. Yes, Gonzaga is coming out of our West. Gonzaga Invitational. Gonzaga's coming out. We move on to the East, the Big Ten bracket.
Michigan, number 1 seed, against the winner of either Texas Southern or what's the other team? MSM.
The Mount St. Mary's.
Mount St. Mary. That's the one that you told me that you kind of liked, right? Well, I'm going Michigan.
No, I did not like.
So that's why you told me to pick them.
No,
all right, so me and Tom are
no,
you're a dickhead.
No, I told you Michigan State, UCLA.
But then you told me, I was like, oh, give me another one. And you're like, oh, Mount St. Mary.
Oh, it was the wraparound. There was no teams left. I mean, would you rather have Cleveland State or Mount St. Mary's?
Oral Roberts, baby. That's what
there you go. It's fine,
but yeah, I think it's pretty clear who we're picking in this one, right? You're going with Juwan Howard, coach, Michigan State. Michigan.
Yeah. You're going Michigan here.
All right. Now LSU and St. Bonaventure.
It's the Bonnies. Another tournament.
An 8 seed versus a 9 seed. And this is
another good one.
This is a great one. And I looked at this, and this is very hard for me because I followed this one guy on TikTok, and he was like showing like these one stats about just like the 6 teams in a tournament. Like if they have like the stats to be national champions, like they literally have like what like the same stats other past national champions have.
It's LSU.
And LSU was one of them. And despite that, I think
you're not taking St. Bonnie's.
I'm taking St. Bonnie's to beat LSU.
Wow. Okay, I'm going LSU.
That's fine.
It's fine. It is fine.
It's fine. You look
but I'm
disgust on your face.
I'm going to LSU. I mean, it's fine. I won. It's literally the last college basketball bet.
I mean, I think LSU. the next stage anyway. I don't think it will fucking matter. All right, Colorado, number 5 seed against number 12 Georgetown, who just went on a run to make
Colorado. This is my Cinderella of the East.
Colorado is your
Colorado.
East?
Yep.
I'm picking Georgetown.
Let
the run continue. A 12 seed. There has to be a 12 seed here and there to win. Your 12 seed was Santa Barbara. My 12 seed is going to be Georgetown until they face Florida State, which we were going to get to now. Florida State, 4th seed against UNC Greensboro. Who you got?
Florida State.
I have Florida State as well. I think they are a dark horse in this tournament.
The next matchup for me is very tough.
BYU and a winner of Michigan State or UCLA.
This one's very tough.
Who you got?
Either Michigan State or UCLA.
That's what I have BYU as well. And I am just doing that out of fate of my tournament chances in that one thing we're doing. So that is why I picked up. I'm not too high on BYU. I'm just not. And I think Michigan State or UCLA.
They play in a basketball conference.
Yeah.
It's what it is. You know, I think Michigan State UCLA as a playing game is just beyond disrespectful considering the conferences they're in. But listen, that's what the tournament decided, and that's what the committee decided, and that's what's happening, and it's going to be a nightmare for BYU.
I think it puts a chip on their shoulder for them to have a 1 game pre.
Now, I will put it this way. Yes. Yeah. I'll put it this way. If Michigan State somehow beats UCLA, which I don't really know how that game's going to go, they're both so similar. If Michigan State looks like the team that lost by 30 to Rutgers, BYU is going to kill them. But if Michigan State looks like the team that beat Ohio State, BYU is not going to stand a chance.
But it is March.
That was the Big Ten. Yeah.
It is March. You never know.
So it's crazy.
All right, number 3, Texas going against Abigail Christian. Horns up. I'm going Texas as well.
I fucking love this Texas team, bro. I literally think this team is so underrated. Watch, they're gonna lose in the first round. I think they're
I hope
so
not.
I've been on the. I'm gonna keep repeating this. I've been on the money all year about these basketball teams. I
Yeah.
know March is gonna screw me over. You're probably gonna have like every pick right, and I'm gonna get nothing right.
It's impossible. But I'm
I
very
love this
high.
Texas team. I'm going to
Yeah.
Texas.
I think the Texas team is very good too, and the fact that they finally broke a schneid with them finally winning a conference championship.
I
They
know.
were 0-7 and going into this year in conference
Tough
championships.
conference too.
Very tough conference, and they finally pull one out. So let's see if they
Big
can
12 was
make a
great
run in
this year.
March. Awesome. So we're gonna go, and then we're gonna go to the Huskies of UConn against number 10 Maryland. Who you got?
UConn again was one of these, like they lost to Providence this year. They
Confusing
had
team.
trouble with DePaul. They lost to St. John's.
And for that reason.
And then they went on this run where they beat Creighton. They beat Villanova. I mean, crazy. I'm going to take Maryland because Maryland faced way stiffer competition and just played better basketball teams and competed. So that's why I'm going Maryland.
I'm going the same route as well. I'm taking Maryland. I think they play better competition. I know UConn went on a run, like you said, at one point, but Maryland just plays better competition. I think they're a better team. So I'm going Maryland as well.
Yes.
All right. Number 2, Alabama against number 15, Iona. Who you got?
I got Alabama. But let me say this. Rick Pitino, okay, who's the coach of Iona, literally said, we'll see you in the Sweet 16. That scares the shit out of me. So I'm just going to say, I'm just going to say and go out on a limb, Rick Pitino, who won, with Louisville, just dominated all these. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this could be, there's only two upsets that could even you could even fathom between the 1-16 and the 2-15 matchups.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of them, and I'll tell you the other one in a minute, but this might be one of them. I'm taking
I know the other one.
because
I know the other one.
Yeah, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But weird. I don't know why he said that, and that just makes me scared.
It's like Aaron Rodgers when he said, we're on the table.
Yeah, because I mean, he'll be whipping those kids in the locker room and like get them going. I don't even know.
I mean, the guy knows how to win.
I'm taking that comment back. That could be taken out of out of context.
You're gonna get us canceled. Listen, you getting us canceled.
But Rick Pitino, just is a great basketball coach. So you never know. But Alabama, solid basketball team from start to finish.
I think they will pull it out against them. I think they're just too talented. All right, so we're going to go on to round 32 of the East. We got I have Michigan versus St. Bonaventure, St. Bonnie's, and you have Michigan against LSU. And who do you have the winner of yours?
Michigan.
I have Michigan as well. That's why I said I don't think it really matters. Georgetown against Florida State. That's what we both have, right? No,
I have Colorado versus Florida State.
And you said Colorado is your dark horse, right?
Colorado will beat Florida State.
I like Florida State. I think Florida State's going to go on to play Michigan.
Nice.
So I got Michigan, Florida State. And then Michigan State or UCLA against Texas. Who you got?
Texas.
I got Texas as well.
Awesome.
And then I have Alabama versus Maryland. We both have that, right?
And I have Alabama.
I have Alabama as well.
Awesome.
All right. So we have almost a similar Sweet 16. Michigan. I have Michigan against Florida State. You have Michigan against Colorado. Who you got?
Colorado.
And I think this is where it gets interesting because I have Florida State beating Michigan.
So we both think that Michigan's going to lose in this round, just to different teams.
They fell off
interesting, right?
at the end of this year. It was
They're
very
also dealing
confusing.
with an injury.
Absolutely. But they fell off at the end of this year, and that's why they confused. They're still a very talented basketball team. But
but I feel like when the competition gets stiffer with their injuries, I don't think.
Yeah, but I just think Florida State is a dark horse. I just really do. You think Colorado is your dark horse? So we both have those two teams respectively going to the Elite Eight, which is cool. Texas and Alabama. Who you got?
All right.
I got Texas.
I'm going Texas.
All right, so not
Alabama.
Much different. All right, I have Texas versus Florida State, and you have Texas versus Colorado. Who you got?
Welcome, baby. Really? Final Four for Texas, man. First time since KD, I think.
Yeah,
they'll get back to
we switch it around.
They'll get to the Final Four.
I got Florida State going to the Final Four.
I like that. See, I love that. In one of my brackets, I'm gonna have that scenario too. This is gonna be the bracket buster. This bracket, because this East is
stacked.
The part of the bracket so stacked that like Georgetown can beat Colorado, but Colorado could end up going and beating Florida State, and Florida State can go on a run.
I mean, out of
Texas can go a run on. UConn really could be, respectively,
out of that East, I think our two teams that we have going that far, Colorado, Florida State, they are such dark horses. I think they're talented enough to where
They
they
could
can go on
both
that
lose in
run.
the first round.
And
Though.
that too.
You know what
I know
mean?
exactly,
Like,
but that's how crazy it is.
I mean, I don't think Florida State will use to Greensboro, but Georgetown's red hot right now. They could catch Colorado off guard and totally beat them. But
yeah,
Florida State could easily lose to Georgetown or Colorado in the next round. So that's why this bracket is just crazy. This is going to be the best one, I'm telling you. Because I'll tell you even this. I'll even go as far as this. LSU could beat Michigan if LSU gets through St. Bonnie's.
absolutely.
So this is going to be the one where you're going to look at your bracket and be like,
damn,
why did I pick that? Because like this is going to be a team you look at and you're like, wow, I really like Maryland. I really like LSU. I like Georgetown. BYU's a 6 seed, but it's like Michigan State, UCLA. We're gonna pick them, but really, like you could make a case to pick BYU, and you're just gonna be like, you're gonna look at. I'm telling you, you're gonna look at the East, and you're gonna go, "What did I do?" It's gonna be like, this is the part because the West, Gonzaga's gonna run through that. I don't even care. They might run into Iowa. That might be
I think they have the easiest path to the finals.
But the East, bro, I'm telling you, man,
it's definitely stacked. And I think we make our way to the South. Tom, you can take away to the South. Go ahead.
Yes, this bracket. This is probably 1A to the easiest in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think this has a very good chance to go chalk, except a couple matchups. But the first one in the round of 64 is 1-seeded Baylor against 16-seeded Hartford.
Baylor.
The Hawks. I'm going Baylor as well.
Yeah.
This next matchup is fun. Two classic.
This one had me on the edge a little bit.
These are two classic NCAA tournament teams, North Carolina and Wisconsin. Who do you have?
This is where I'm going to go with this. Obviously I look at North Carolina and I'm like, oh, they're tournament made. This is a tournament made team. Wisconsin, this year they fell off though. And Wisconsin, they play tough competition. 88% of the bets in the market are going toward North Carolina. So I am going with Wisconsin just for that. I'm not going with the public. I got to go with Wisconsin.
Nice. I'm going with the Tar Heels.
That's fine.
I feel like they're finally hitting their stride at the right time. I think they could make some noise.
I like that. That's fine.
Yeah. Next matchup, 5-12. The Villanova Wildcats against the Winthrop Eagles. Say it with me, Mike.
Winthrop.
3, 2, 1. Winthrop.
I'm not high on Villanova at all.
They
I'm not.
suck. They don't suck. I mean,
I think they're definitely the worst 5 seed out of the whole tournament.
It's so hard to go against a Jay Wright coach team, though.
Absolutely.
But
Winthrop
they're gonna do without their best team. Winthrop's another disrespected 12 seed based on where they play, who they play.
I think out of every year in a tournament, there's got to be there's 2 out of the 4 12 seeds.
I think I saw the stat yesterday. There's been there's never been a year where like a 10 and a 12 seed have not won their matchups.
Yeah.
It always happens.
As I'm saying, it's just
pick
tournament made. Yeah, 12 seeds, 10
because
seeds are tournament made.
When you get to 5, 6, 7 ranges, it's those teams that were like middle of the pack in their conference. Like, are they good? Are they not good? So those teams end up playing top seeds in like the AAC and the MAC and the WAC and smaller conferences like that. And you think it's like, well, they were in a smaller conference, but they were the best team in their conference. And then they're playing the middle tier teams or like the okay teams of the other conferences. And that's where you get those matchups. That's what's crazy.
Absolutely.
Next matchup is Purdue versus North Texas. I know nothing about this North Texas team.
Neither do I. I heard they're good though. I heard they're a decent team.
I heard they could play. They play hard, which obviously most college basketball teams play. But
I mean, they're there for a reason. They're in the tournament for a reason.
Exactly. But I'm going Purdue. I love Purdue's game.
I like Purdue's too, so I'm going to go with Purdue as well.
All right, cool. Next matchup, we have the 6-seeded Texas Tech Red Raiders against the Utah State. I don't know their fucking mascot, but the 11-seeded Utah State. What do you got?
I really like this Texas Tech team. I'm going with them.
I'm going with them as well.
Yeah, I think they are another possible dark horse for the tournament as well.
Nice. All right. Cool. Next matchup is Arkansas, the Razorbacks against Colgate.
I like Colgate, but I'm not going with them. I'm going Arkansas.
I'm going Arkansas too.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just like this Colgate team. They show up. They show up in the tournament though. Like
they're fun. They're fun. They're one of those teams.
These Ivy League schools, when they show up in a tournament, they do.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
they do. But yeah, I'm going Arkansas.
So true. It's so true.
Yep.
Yep.
Next one.
Hold on one second.
Oral Roberts. What a name.
All right. So Next up, my app glitched a little bit. That's why I was. Give me a second. Okay. This matchup, I hate this matchup because I really don't know. This is my I know I'm gonna lose it already.
Yeah.
Florida versus Virginia Tech. I'm taking Florida, but I
took
want to take
Florida,
Virginia
too.
Tech, but Florida, they suck sometimes. Man.
Yeah, it's very debatable, but I'm going with Florida for the aspect when they do make the tournament, they don't lose first round. They don't. They just
Yeah,
they don't. So I'm just gonna go off of that.
that history.
Yeah, so
That's
I'm
what
gonna go
I
off
did.
of that.
I mean, but Virginia Tech could easily beat them. It's not even.
Yeah, exactly.
One of those things
That
again.
game.
It's like ACC basketball is usually better than SEC basketball, but maybe not this year because it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. I just don't like that matchup at all. Next one's Ohio State, Oral Roberts. I know you love Oral Roberts because you took them in our little bracket.
I had to.
But I know you're taking Ohio State.
I am. I'm taking Ohio State. Absolutely. Come on, you gotta have some type of brain. I'm going with Ohio State.
Exactly. All right, on to the round of 32 in the South region. You have Baylor versus Wisconsin in the first matchup. So who are you taking there?
I am taking the big W to upset Baylor. I'm guessing that you're picking.
Baylor has struggled lately, but I'm taking Baylor.
To beat UNC though.
Yeah, to beat North Carolina. I know they've struggled, but they were such a good basketball team
at first
this year, man.
Yeah,
so good. And those type of teams, they can find it, especially when the stage gets a little bigger. So we'll see. I think they're definitely worthy enough to get to the Sweet 16.
Absolutely,
no doubt. In our second matchup, we both have Winthrop against Purdue.
I am going with the Boilermakers, Purdue.
I'm going with the Boilermakers as well of Purdue. Awesome.
Yes,
so we both have that. We have a different matchup in the Sweet 16, but
same thing. Yep.
Next is we both have the Red Raiders of Texas Tech against the Razorbacks of Arkansas. Who are you going with here?
It was tough, but like I said, I like them. They're a dark horse. I'm going with Texas Tech.
Nice. I'm going with Arkansas here. I just like them.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it can go either way, that game, absolutely, but I'm going with Texas
Tech. Florida versus Ohio State. I'm going Ohio State.
Down goes the O, baby. Florida takes it. They're going to beat Ohio State.
I don't like that at all. I'm sorry. Ohio State is probably could have been a 1 seed if they. I don't know. They're that good.
I don't know about that.
I think they're better than Michigan, Ohio State, but Michigan got the 1 seed on whatever. But I think
we'll find out.
I don't like that Florida team. I don't like the Florida team. I don't like the Virginia Tech team. I wish they weren't playing each other because I take them both to lose.
Elite
8. On to the Sweet 16.
Oh, that's what I meant.
The South. Yeah, that's okay. Baylor versus Purdue. No, you have Wisconsin against Purdue.
No, I have. The fuck do I have? The Sweet 16, right?
Yeah, you have Wisconsin versus Purdue.
Sorry, I was looking at the
wrong Wisconsin to beat Baylor, and you took.
Yeah.
Wisconsin
beats Purdue.
Jesus Christ, you're really having them go on a run.
I do. Wisconsin beats Purdue.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's cool.
Awesome.
I'm going with Purdue to beat Baylor. I think that's where Baylor falls. I think they run into a hard-nosed team, and I think that's what happens.
That's fun.
Nice. So the next matchup you have Texas Tech against Florida.
Yeah, Texas Tech, baby.
Hold on. I love this because I love that. You have in your Sweet 16 in this bracket, you have a 9 seed, a 6 seed, a 7 seed, and a 4 seed.
You can't go with the norm, baby. You can't go with the norm. You can't go with the norm.
At first, you're right, but then towards the end, the numbers always say the better seeds somehow always end up there. But I respect it because you know what? It's 2020, basically 20.
This year's. I wouldn't be surprised if Oral Roberts wins this whole fucking thing.
All right, now you're speaking nuts. But all right, awesome. Continue. Who do you take? You're taking.
I'm taking Texas. I think this is where Florida's shows that they're a shitty team. And
so in the 6-7 Sweet 16 matchup, you're taking Texas Tech. So your Elite 8 out of the South, your South championship is 9-seeded Wisconsin against 6-seeded Texas. I hope this happens. Honestly, I don't care if it busts my bracket. I would love this to happen because I would want you to be so right. Because I can guarantee you are a 1 in 1 millionth person that is going to have that scenario.
This is March, baby.
That's awesome. You know, if you enter anything with that bracket like that going out and it happens, you're winning it all.
I know.
because
the power, the points, and all that
dude,
stuff.
that would be like on the money.
Well,
And
what's your final Elite Eight? Sorry.
I have Purdue beating Baylor,
Yep.
and then I have Ohio State beating Arkansas. So I have a Big Ten final in the.
I like that. So Ohio State versus Purdue.
Purdue, yeah.
And you have Ohio State.
Ohio State, yeah. Ohio State's making my final.
I have
four.
Texas Tech as the dark horse, making all the way to Final Four.
Nice, a 16 in the Final Four. When was the last time a 6 seed has made the Final Four? Hit Mr. Google for us right now.
Should I? What you want me to do?
Mr. Google, yeah, hit Mr. Google for us right now. I want to just give some perspective on how crazy this south side of the bracket is for you. Out of all the brackets, I thought you were going to go crazy on. I thought it was going to be the East, but you went totally in the South. I respect it. Listen, when it comes to March Madness, nobody knows what the hell they're talking about because anything can happen.
only three 6 seeds have made it to the Final Four. It's been nearly 3 decades since the last time it happened. The last time it was Michigan in 1992. That was the last time that happened.
Juwan Howard was on that team, the Fab Five. Listen, look at you, man. You know you got to put him. Oh, you can't. Sorry, FanDuel. I'm joking. He can't do that.
I can't.
I might do it for you. I might put money on Texas Tech to fucking reach the Final
Don't tell him. No, I'm just kidding. But you did do it for yourself.
Awesome. So you have Texas Tech in the Final Four. I have Ohio State.
Maybe I was drunk when I made this.
Might have been.
All right. So we are now to the final end of the bracket.
The final bracket before we talk about our Final Fours. And this is
your exciting
of fun. This is my bracket.
This is your bracket. And this is where we're going to go have some fun, baby. Number 1, Illinois, great basketball team against number 16, Drexel.
Give me Illinois.
I got Illinois is playing out of their mind right now. They are a very talented team.
Yep.
They remind me of like the Fab Five, dude.
Kofi Cockburn.
Yeah, dude. They remind me of like the Fab Five, like Michigan days, how they play. Like they are just a good fucking basketball team.
Yep. Next matchup.
Loyola Chicago, who went on that run not too long ago against Georgia Tech.
Give me Sister Jan in Loyola Chicago. She's 101 years old, going to be at that fucking game. Are you kidding me? How do you not take them?
They got to get one win for her. They got to get one.
Take them. Be awesome.
I love it.
And that sets up a great matchup in the round of 32. 2 teams from Illinois. You got the State University of Illinois against Loyola Chicago, the university of this biggest city in Illinois. So that's awesome.
That is awesome. Good for sister. For sister. All right, number 5, Tennessee against number 12, Oregon State. Who you got?
Another underrated SEC team in this tournament, Tennessee. I'm taking them.
I have Tennessee.
Oregon State is very good as well.
The
Pac-12 is a little underrated, but Tennessee's better.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tennessee as well. All right, this one, Oklahoma State against Liberty. Oklahoma State.
Another dark horse, man. The fucking best player in the country. Okay, Cade Cunningham is on Oklahoma State, and anytime a team, and we've seen this with Jimmer, and we've seen this with Gordon Hayward and Butler. Anytime you have a team with the best player in college basketball in the tournament, they win a couple games. It's just how it happens because they go full takeover, and that's what's going to happen. Oklahoma State's gonna kill Liberty. You're taking Liberty, aren't you?
I got Liberty.
Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. Hey, I respect it. Listen, I can never talk shit to somebody in March Madness because
it's not about the facts. It's not about the
facts. It's like who comes up and who's got more.
Listen, there's been great players on great teams all the time, but there's upsets that happen, and I am taking Liberty.
Nice.
I think
you are upset city. You love your upsets.
I do. You wait. Just you wait.
I'm gonna preface this, which I think you're gonna have more upsets in this side of the bracket.
I don't know. All right, here we go. San Diego State against your beloved Syracuse.
Cuse, I'm sorry, buddy Boeheim, Jim Boeheim. I'm sorry. San Diego State's a good basketball team, and you're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. It's not happening. I'm not getting both my teams out of this first round. It's not happening. Syracuse will lose, and I'm gonna take San Diego State. You're taking Syracuse. So many people do because it's Cuse. They're an 11 seed. They're playing well. They just went toe to toe with Virginia. They should have beat them. I know it all. I know everything. I know.
I'm going with the big orange Syracuse because of my love for you. I am picking Syracuse. Not even because they're that good of a basketball team. No, I'm just kidding. They are a good basketball team.
They're okay.
And, I mean, but I think they could compete, like you said, just went toe to toe with a really good team.
They have a top 5 recruiting class in the next couple of years coming up, so they'll be a lot better now. So it's good that they got in because these kids now, the younger kids, get some good experience, which is cool. Which is the opposite of the other team that we root for. Well, I root for. But yeah.
Well, I'm taking Q's. I'm gonna do it. West Virginia playing very well against a very good Morehead State team.
West Virginia, who, as I believe, was ranked as high as number 2 in the nation this year. I'm going with them against Morehead State.
I'm going with them as well. I won't have that many
upsets. West Virginia, the full court press, they play the whole game, just screws these first round teams, like, because they're always like a middle of the pack. Yeah. Crazy.
Brutal.
Yeah. Here we go, baby. Here's the fun one. Here's the fun one.
Clemson Tigers stick to football. You're going against a team that's not that good at football. Rutgers. Rutgers, 10 seed versus 7 seed. Rutgers gets 10.
I cannot pick against Rutgers here.
First time since 91.
Give me the Scarlet Knights. They're getting one in this tournament because
they deserve to be in it.
They deserve to be in it last year. They deserve to face a team like Morehead State and like they deserve that. And they got snubbed because of COVID. They're going to beat Clemson. Both these teams do not play well offensively, so this is going to be a snoozer. This could be like 51-48. Yeah, the under might be low. Yeah. But I'll say this for our listeners: Rutgers tips off at 9:20. Syracuse tips off at 9:40.
And Tom will be drunk by then.
Oh.
And down $1,000.
God forbid.
Yeah, I think it's too good to be true. I'm taking Clemson in this one.
Jesus. See, I know you. I knew you. Yeah.
You think I'm not going to take Rutgers first time?
I was about to say. I mean, I didn't take Syracuse, but I've
seen RU, baby. So. I'm taking RU.
Nice.
And then this is where I flip my fucking bracket around. Houston, number 2 against number 15, Cleveland State. And then before you say a word, this is your fault. Because I did some research on this team. Because you told me they were fucking good. They could beat Houston. You told me that. I looked things up. And they really could beat Houston.
I know. And plays in the American Conference. Who do they play? I've watched them almost lose to UCF and South Florida. I mean,
dude. And I know I'm biased. I know this bracket's been ridiculous of mine. But if there's gonna be a 15 seed that wins, and if for any chance for Rutgers to possibly go another game because I'm a biased motherfucker, I am taking Cleveland State to beat Houston in my bracket. I'm doing it.
I respect it. I'm not taking it because
you just got to be. Yeah, you're reality. You're reality.
Because I've watched so much. Like, here's the thing. I say Cleveland State could beat Houston because if Houston comes and they struggle shooting the basketball, they're going to lose because they'll just keep chucking up shots and they'll be screwed. If Houston comes and they're hitting their shots, they're going to about 40. Like, it's not like I've bet Houston where they go on like 29-2 runs to start the game. Because they also play hounding defense. But if they're off, I've watched them go down like 16 points to a team that's only won 3 games. So, like, that's why I said if there's going to be a team that could 15-2 that could win, it's going to be Cleveland State. But you have some major balls, my friend, because for you to put your money where your mouth is, man.
I can't. But this is where I'm going to go with this. I don't think there's going to be a 16 seed that win. I think it's going to be
no. That only happened once.
Yeah, it's only happened once with UMBC. But I don't think there's going to be a 16 seed that wins. But there is rarely where a 15 seed wins, like Florida Gulf Coast, etc. I think Cleveland State can actually I really looked up this team after you told me what you thought. It just shows you I respect your opinion. But I really looked them up, and I'm just like I thought the same thing as you. Like, they played in American Conference, Houston. They could have lost to so many teams that they're not that good of. So I can just see it happening. And for the benefit of Rutgers, which I will get to, I am going to pick Cleveland State there. All right.
Awesome. On to the round of 32.
All right. Illinois.
Matchup of Illinois.
Matchup of Illinois, sister. I love you, but Illinois is just too damn good.
Illinois is too damn good. Yep.
Illinois is in the bag. I am going to take Illinois as well. Tennessee against Liberty.
For you.
For me. I am taking Tennessee. I'll go back to reality a little bit.
That is Tennessee's round way to the Sweet 16. That's their easy way to the Sweet 16.
So that's why you're not taking them.
Well, I have Tennessee against Oklahoma State. And I think Oklahoma State's better than Tennessee.
Just because of that one player.
Yeah, man. He's that good. He's going to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. So
Knicks will get him.
Knicks are going to be a playoff team, man. But anyway, besides that, I'm taking Oklahoma State to face Illinois in the Sweet 16.
I like it. All right. And then I got the Cuse I know you got San Diego State,
We have
but I got
Cuse
the
against West
Cuse
Virginia.
against West Virginia. I think that's going to be an
I
awesome
would love
matchup.
this matchup because, as you know, my sister and her fiance are huge West Virginia basketball fans because that's where they
Yeah.
went to school. So that would
I think it would be an
that's
awesome matchup for Cuse and West Virginia. I think that'd be entertaining. I think it would be cool.
2-3 zone versus full court press.
Exactly. And but
Good
I'm
one.
going to go with West Virginia in that one. I think I'll go by third.
Yeah, I have San Diego State against West Virginia. I hope Syracuse gets there, and even if Syracuse did get there, I would still have West Virginia.
In your Sweet 16. Yep.
Yes.
And then this is where I come and just show my love.
You have Cleveland State versus Rutgers in this matchup.
I have a Cleveland State versus Rutgers in the round of 32. And that is where I pick Rutgers to go to my Sweet 16.
Rutgers is dancing for the first time since 91 and is going to go ballroom dancing for the first time.
They better sponsor me for doing
like
this.
76 probably.
I'm looking like an idiot right now on live fucking podcast. Can't even speak right. And I'm picking Rutgers to go to my Sweet 16 for the first time since 91. That's what I'm doing.
If I think Cleveland State can beat Houston, I think Rutgers can beat Houston. Do I think Rutgers beats Houston? No. I can't because I know
it's some balls.
Dude, Houston they're good. They just have their days where when they're bad, they're bad. That's why I'm saying they could lose. But
Rutgers,
talking about one of my teams, man. Talking about one of my teams.
You're a realist. I am just a predictor. You know, I'm just going with my nuts.
Houston will beat Rutgers, so I have West Virginia, Houston.
I think that's an awesome matchup, though. 16. That is an awesome matchup. All right, Sweet 16. Illinois versus Tennessee for me, and you have Illinois versus
Oklahoma State.
Those are both awesome matchups.
In our Final Four,
Illinois will be going to the Final Four.
The Elite Eight.
Oh yeah, Elite Eight. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got West Virginia versus Rutgers, and I'm going to. No, I'm just kidding. I think this is where it falls into reality. The press is going to kill them. I think this would be a game where Rutgers would go up like 10, and then they'll just lose by 40 because that's what they do. So I got West Virginia and Illinois in my Elite Eight.
Nice. I have West Virginia versus Houston in that matchup, and I'm going West Virginia. I've picked West Virginia to win my brackets, but they've always been in such tough seeds and tough brackets. The last couple of years when they've fielded really solid basketball teams, this is the first year where they've actually got the luck of the draw. I think they have a fairly easy way to get to that Elite Eight, and I think this is the year they finally get there, and that's why I have them facing Illinois.
Yeah. All right. So here is our Elite Eight.
Well, we have Illinois versus
Illinois.
We'll get to the Final Four.
I am going with Illinois. I think they're too damn good not to make the Final Four.
Fighting Illini as well. They'll beat West Virginia. West Virginia, typically a team that likes to lose in the Sweet 16. They'll find a way to get to the Elite Eight, and that's as far as they'll go. Yeah. The Illini were red hot at the right time.
All right, so we are 50-50 heading into the Final Four.
Your Final Four is
because you have Gonzaga as well.
Gonzaga, Texas.
You have Gonzaga, Texas. I have Gonzaga, Florida State, but I had Texas in my Elite Eight. And then I have my mind-blowing Texas Tech against Illinois in the Final Four.
And I have Ohio State versus Illinois Big Ten matchup.
Which is probably more likely. But Gonzaga versus Florida State for me, or Gonzaga versus Texas for you, right?
Yeah.
I am taking Gonzaga either way.
I'm going Gonzaga as well.
Okay, so
the undefeated team will get to the final.
Yeah, I think so too. And then I have Texas Tech against Illinois. The dark horse goes down, and I think Illinois makes the final.
So at the end of the day,
despite
with all your
mayhem,
crazy matchups, you have a 1-1 final.
I have a 1-1 final. Yep.
Nice. So you have 2 number 1 seeds get to the final. That's cool because that happens not a lot, but it happens a good amount of times. I am taking Gonzaga in the first matchup against Texas as much as I want to take Texas. And I don't even care about my bracket at that point. I would be rooting for Texas if they do face Gonzaga in the Final Four. But I'm going to go with Gonzaga. I think it'd also be cool to see an undefeated team get to the final.
Yeah.
And then in my South Midwest Final Four, it will be Ohio State taking down Illinois.
Okay.
So my final is...
You think the rematch Ohio State will get them?
State. And then, I think Ohio State will get their little revenge in the biggest stage. And then my NCAA championship is Ohio State Gonzaga.
And my championship is Gonzaga, Illinois.
Nice. Which both would be great games. And who are you going with?
I think for the first time, there will be an undefeated champion. I am going with Gonzaga to take.
So the first time since the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yes, first time in a lot.
74 or 76. Time. There'll be an undefeated champion according to Milk Dud Cash Money.
I'm going with Go Ohio State.
I'm a Big Ten. I love the Big Ten. I think every time the best conference had the team with the most, the conference with the most teams in the tournament always shows up because it's just how it is. Ohio State will beat Gonzaga. Final score 81-74. Buckeyes are national champions.
I got Gonzaga winning 63-62. Low scoring game.
Nice.
So we have crazy brackets. At the end of it, we almost had the same teams in the finals.
Yes, you definitely have the crazier bracket, taking a little more risk with the upsets, which will pay off. My bracket has more room for busting, if that makes sense. You've created an unbustable bracket because you've taken many underdogs. I've created a very bustable bracket. 2 or 3 underdogs take out my teams, and I'm screwed. If Santa Barbara loses, then Virginia could lose to Creighton, and I have Virginia in my Elite Eight. So it could just
totally for sure.
But
I think life's too short.
I just right before we end this though, I do want to give my top teams to watch in this tournament. I think just to round it up because we talked about it here and there. USC as a 6 seed, really good. Texas as a 3 seed, very underrated. Obviously, you have your Gonzaga, you have your Ohio State. But some of the most disrespected teams, as I've talked about, Oregon is a good basketball team at 7. I'm surprised they were that low. Kansas is an overrated 3 seed. I don't think they're that good, and they have some issues coming in. I hope COVID doesn't take over this tournament in any way. I would hate to see any of these teams get knocked out because of COVID, and I would hate to see any teams advance because of COVID. That's just bullshit.
Yeah.
And then take a look at that Michigan State UCLA game. See how those teams play, because I think whoever wins that matchup is definitely going to give BYU a problem, because BYU is another overrated 6 seed. But the best money out there, and this was a cool stat that I saw this morning, was they took the preseason odds of the last 3 champions to win the tournament. So I believe, Villanova was like plus 1,200, et cetera, blah, blah. The team that matches those odds the best is actually Virginia. Florida State, teams like that, they match that kind of thing. Texas. So it'd be interesting. This is definitely, I'm predicting, because we didn't get March Madness last year, there's going to be double craziness in this year's March Madness. And what makes this even better is most of these teams, unless you get the same conference matchups in a matchup, have not even played each other this year. A lot of the times, the big teams play each other. You know what I'm saying? Like Gonzaga will play Ohio State in some type of invitational in Bahamas or Maui. Like you'll get those like matchups with top 10 teams. Kentucky will play Virginia, things like that. But I think there was only 1 or 2 like ACC Big Ten challenges. So this is going to be it. This is going to be first time matchups. There's going to be no, let's go back repeat. Really.
Yeah.
There'll be no, like, these players are going to be completely different. And that's why I think the conference divisions, like, people, if the experts think the Big Ten is the toughest conference in the country this year, those teams against other conferences, they're going to be betting favorites. They're going to be minus points. You know what I mean? That's just how it's going to be. They could even be a lower seed because the competition, but how do we even know? How do we really know? So
yeah, I agree.
Big Ten had the most parity. That's why people are saying that, because Ohio State, right? Michigan State loses to Rutgers by 30, but beats Ohio State. Ohio State beats Michigan, but loses to this team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why they're saying that the conference is what it is.
Well, for me, I might be biased because of my bracket, but if there's some teams that I think are going to be dark horses, I really think I'm going with a 6 seed Texas Tech. I'm going with the USC. I think they're also a 6 seed. I think they're awesome. I really like Florida State as well as a 4. And if there's teams I think are slightly overrated, and I think they should keep away from your bracket, not because they're tournament name or their tournament made teams like such as Villanova, Houston. I think that you should stay away. I could definitely see Villanova or Houston pulling away in their first game, but I don't think they will advance much farther than that. And that's my opinion. I go with that. But teams like you mentioned as well, I think a lot of Big Ten teams they're gonna definitely dominate this tournament. And yeah, that's my input with it. That's why I went crazy. Obviously, there was some bias.
We need to highlight that. You need to put that video, that little part where we figured out the seeds you have in that. Freaking that, I love that. That's the highlight of this podcast.
I will put that up
without a doubt. That is the highlight because I think people are gonna love that, and I think it could. You're not crazy. Like talking to someone who literally, my record in college basketball this year was insane, and it's because I actually for the first time in a while because the COVID stuff, it was so easy to like decipher what teams were which and who was who.
Yeah.
And just looking at the players, so many people returning because they didn't get a chance last year. I don't know. It was just
I know what you're saying.
I really enjoyed college basketball this year. All the other teams I liked sucked in other sports, so I wasn't invested in that. So I was invested in college basketball, excited for Rutgers, and it was great.
Yeah.
So this has been the most excited for a tournament I've been, and that's why I'm not calling you crazy for having those certain teams in that part of the bracket. But I think it needs to be highlighted because you could be right, and it would be so epic,
legendary.
But you also sound crazy to people who don't really haven't really watched or gotten.
I mean, people, and people study. People study this shit. But there is no. And that's why,
like you said, there's no
end way around it. It is March. We are in the 2020s, like you said. This past year has been a fucking shit show. Why wouldn't we not highlight it with the craziest probably March Madness ever?
Exactly. And like I just pulled up my notes for my record in college basketball. I stopped like towards the end because the conference tournaments, I hate betting those.
Yeah.
I was 74-28.
Woohoo! Where the fuck was our picks for our show, boy? Would have been famous.
Well, we weren't doing it the first time I did it, right?
Yeah.
And my record in parlays, which were only 3-team parlays, right, were 17-11.
It's good for parlays. It's really fucking good. It's really good.
So I don't know what my plus money was because all the odds are different.
Well, all I gotta say is now
74-28.
Yeah, that's a winning percentage, buddy. But that is what I'll tell you.
That's 34.
You take those records and you shove them up your ass because it's March.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's literally what I was going to get to point. Like someone who had a lucky run in the regular season of reading these teams and when they were going to play well. Because I only bet the spreads as well. Like that's not me money lines. It's all spreads. So getting like I am not anywhere near an expert in college basketball, but I have a really good feel on this year. This tournament, my bracket will probably suck. Like that's the point I'm trying to make.
And you'll have everything right statistically and record wise
because I'll be going off all the times I've bet these teams.
Yeah.
I bet 112 basketball games this year, college basketball games. I mean,
and you're up a lot of money.
34 3-team parlays this year. I think I know what teams showed up and what teams didn't, and whatever. You know what I mean? And betting odds always say where these teams are at.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna get them all wrong. Like I know there's gonna be a 12. There's gonna be something's gonna happen. This is where
I look at it. We'll end it. But you remember that one kid who won the bracket challenge a few years back?
Yeah. Remember he had like one game wrong.
He had one game wrong, and he
perfect bracket in the Sweet 16, I think.
Yeah, he got interviewed, and they were like how did you do this? And he's like, I never watched basketball a day in my life. That's what he said. I never watched a day of basketball.
I remember that.
It's all just instinct.
People fill out brackets based on mascots and names,
and like where you would like to go on vacation, or
your sister's brother's wife went to fucking Abilene Christian, so I'm gonna pick them to beat number 2 seeded fucking Houston, and next thing you know, they fucking win, and the person looks like a genius.
And it's not. It's all luck. It's March, and that's why I love this time of year, and I'm so glad it's back.
You literally have like a 1 in 6 gazillion chance to get a bracket right.
And it hasn't been done. It hasn't been done.
It'll never be done, man. It'll never be done. It's impossible. That's
think about the closest we've ever gotten with one person.
It's one of the greatest things in sports. Well, he had it perfect up to the Sweet 16, and then I think the first matchup in the Sweet 16 he lost.
Yeah, but still getting to that point,
amazing.
Amazing. Well, we will be in AC. Hopefully, getting drunk. Hopefully, getting drunk.
For the first round for our Rutgers Syracuse games. I'm gonna be wearing a Syracuse jersey under a
You look like
Rutgers
a
hoodie.
crackhead.
Over a Rutgers. I look like a crackhead. People are gonna be like, "Who the fuck did?" I went to Rutgers and I grew up rooting for Syracuse, so fuck off. But this is gonna be great.
This was
This is an
awesome,
awesome
Tom.
episode. This
Yeah.
is an episode that warrants being an hour long.
Yeah,
People can
absolutely.
listen. I think we should highlight in. I'll highlight it in the description of our episode. What regions we talk about at what times, just so people can, like, if you want to know what like the South region's at, you can just fast forward to X time.
And we'll put it in the description and stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. So we'll end it with this.
I'll figure that out tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Keep an eye, other eye lookout. We might be doing another episode this week, probably based off free agency stuff like that. It's been pretty crazy so far. Not for our teams, of course, but for Tom's rivals.
Oh my God, I gotta talk about so much.
Dude, I know. So we will hopefully a couple more crazy things happen. We'll talk about it. That episode will be up soon. Obviously, follow us on social media and look for our own bracket challenge. Hopefully, we'll get that out tomorrow.
I think we'll either do it for cash or we'll get people to sign up and we'll give a free giveaway out. Like we'll buy like something and we'll give it out to somebody.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
We'll do something cool like that. So just because people don't have the Venmo, but we'll gauge. We'll throw out a pool. We could throw out a poll. We could say like, hey, would you guys sign up for the bracket challenge for a free gift giveaway, or or
you want to do a cash poll? Yeah,
like a cash one, or both. We could do 3, 3, and 3, and we'll get that out tomorrow, and then we'll get the link out, and people can just sign up.
Yep.
Whatever, it's easy.
We got till Friday. We got till Friday till this got to be done. So awesome episode, Tom. This is cool.
Sounds good, man.
All right, buddy.
Talk to you later.
Let's do the madness. ZMT Sports out.